If Jay Wright didn't snap it, then who did?
What's good, Snap Squad? It's your boy Jay Wright Snap, and we are back with another one. Told y'all we're gonna be doing all kinds of reactions to different content, and this one right here is a good one. I'm already knowing. I did catch it live, but I definitely want to go back and do a reaction to it because this is including one of my favorite top comedians. Dude is funny as hell. He is real as you can get, and a lot of people don't like that, but I mean, you can't deny greatness. So we got Corey Holcomb, and he has a special guest. We got MTR from the Man Self-Improvement side of the game on YouTube. So this is gonna be good. Like, there's definitely some controversial, a lot of times, ideas between the two of them. So definitely having them two together is gonna be a good one. Before we jump into the content, make sure y'all go in the description and y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that. You know, share the video, show your boy some love. Just had my birthday yesterday, big 35. So best thing y'all can do, show your boy some love, is comment, subscribe, and share the video. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. Big ups and big love to y'all. Blessings to God for allowing me to see another year. It's crazy. But like I'm saying, I'm looking forward to reacting to it. Y'all make sure y'all go show some love to Corey Holcomb in the 5150 show. Y'all go subscribe, share their content, as well as MTR. Go subscribe to his channel, share his content, show them boys some love. Without further ado, let's get into it.
We are here, and we are proud to be here. I am Corey Holcomb, Darlene OG Ortiz, Craig out handling business this week.
Ooh, look at my hair.
But I'm going to tell y'all something, man. God is good. We have a brother who is going to chip in this week and give us some valuable information and share some of his observations. He is a brother who I see on the internet. It's so weird. It's like, you know, y'all know I'm bad with names, but I was just laughing when Darlene saw who the guest was. She was like, oh, yeah, him. Then she started fanning out.
I did.
Because this brother, he stands out at what he does.
Yes, he does.
Darlene, you introduce him there. You say his name.
MTR, handsome, very masculine. I like the words he's spreading. Just much respect.
MTR, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys loud and clear. Can you?
That's what's up. Can everybody
The juice is leaking out. She over there fanning so hard.
see him?
Doesn't hurt to be easy on
Everybody can see MTR? Brother,
easy on the eyes.
I am so glad you're here, man. I'm so glad we found a way to make this happen. I see you over there in your smooth office, and it's cracking.
Hey man, listen, they keep telling me it's AI, and I gotta like move some of the flowers so they can understand it's not, you know?
I didn't want to.
The setup is clean. He's definitely trying to recreate those Kevin Samuel vibes for sure. You already know, and they were pretty close before his passing, so you know he's essentially taking a mantle in some ways, you know. So this is gonna be a good one.
Say that because I was like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but that it don't even look real. It's so
Right.
it's dope, man. Hey, man, look. First of all, we glad you're here.
Thank you, brother.
And
Thank
I
you.
really want my audience to know who you are because, you know what I'm saying? People who speak with sense and respectability, I'm trying to be like, yeah, I speak with sense, but I be like, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, just explain, just say your name and let people know where they can find you, man, because this is one of the guys, fellas. This is one of the guys. He's standing out.
Hey man, listen, first and foremost, shout out to you, Corey. Thank you so much for having the team reach out to me. I am so excited to be up here just to chop it up and cook it up with you guys. All right. Shout out to Darlene. Shout out to the 5150 chat. You know, you guys from day one have been real, right? So it's absolutely an honor and a privilege to be in the building. My main platform is on YouTube. So you can find me at TheRealMTR. And the long and short about me is, you know, I'm just a dude, you know, I'm just a man who's just been through some real things, learned some real life lessons, and figured out how to build a platform out of nothing. And I take trending topics and decode the weird clown world that we currently exist in today, one viral video at a damn time. So my topics generally cover like self-development, purpose, money, relationships, and calling out bullshit whenever I see it. So
that's what's
thank
up.
you guys again for the invite. Super excited to be here.
Look, bro, I'm looking forward to this. We're gonna make this work because you know, it was something that I tried to stay away from because I get people acting like I'm mean and vicious. And it actually works on my psyche a little bit when I see things. So when you brought up this topic, I was so glad. I was like, it ain't just me. It's not just me. And like you could bring it up, like what you saw. Do we have the video that he was gonna show? Or I didn't even ask about that. Do they got the video?
Not yet.
Okay. It was a video, and even if before we get to the video, something you noticed about a famous person and her podcast and what she has to say. Oh, that's the alley-oop I'm gonna throw you.
Sure. So are we talking about the B.Simone situation? Because that's been going viral as of today.
Well, that's been going crazy viral. And like I said, you know, I tried not to say nothing about it because I don't want nobody to be like I'm piling on. But I've been very critical of her because she stole jokes, she stole a book. I mean, like, it's like, yo, this girl is not mentally stable, if you ask me. And that don't stop you from getting famous on the internet. But her staying power is kind of like it's really put on display. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's you know, it's funny, you know, because I did content on her like back in 2020, and she was talking about, you know, that she won't date a 9-to-5 guy and like all of this stuff, and you know, just shitting on, you know, essentially the average guy. And I find it so interesting that 5 years later, you know, that sounds like she needs a 9-to-5 in order to continue to shopping at Bloomingdale's, right? But it's just this like odd superiority complex that she has. And to take a shit on H&M shoppers, yet acting like it's like Goodwill or a thrift store or Salvation Army is wild. And, you know, her audience is probably like 43% H&M shoppers to begin with anyway. So not only is she ostracizing her audience, but then also shitting on typical, you know, dudes that would want to consider her in a relationship. Because I've seen her multiple times complaining about being single and like all of these things. So it's just kooky, you know, but it just goes to show like the pure and utter delusion in the clown world that we currently exist in. And I don't know how some of these people are famous. And I don't want to just hop on, you know, continue to hop on her as well. But I do think that it's a good discussion because 9-to-5 dudes and like the importance to our infrastructure, our society. Like if you were to take those dudes away, the whole country would collapse. But I just find it so interesting that, you know, they require this high value man. Meanwhile, they don't bring a high value mindset. Right.
All due respect, with B.Simone looking how she looks, to talking down on average men is crazy. It's wild. Like, she ain't ugly, but she definitely ain't the baddest. She like a 5.5 at best, if we being honest. Like, maybe if she do herself up the right way, a 6. But that's piling on everything. Average every day, she's average herself. Her average everyday look definitely rocking at a 5. So it's like, how dare you be talking down to men who are on your level just because you got money? Apparently, you know what I'm saying, according to how she talking and everything, she really ain't got much of that, or really can't move around like she want to move around. So it's like, you do all that talking down to men who can really, even regardless of whether they're average or not, or have an absorbent amount of wealth, they can help you out, because that extra $30, $40, $50,000 that an average man makes, you know, is $40, $50,000 that you ain't have. So it's like resources that you ain't have, support that you ain't have. So it's just so crazy to me how people can disregard or discard or turn down and dismiss resources and people who they didn't even have in the first place. You got to do 100% of it on your own. So it's like, if you find a decent person, a decent dude who can assist and lead you and guide you, help you make better decisions, ease the load off your back where you can be in the position that you're supposed to be in, and he can do that for you, but you dismiss him because he quote unquote ain't making the bread that you making, because for her specifically, that's the only difference between the two. So like he said, it's wild, it's delusional, especially for her.
Right?
The high value mindset thing you just said is really deep. I mean, this is something that I feel like these women are clueless about. Like, they think somebody want them other than the physical. And that's what I think is wrong in society. Like, these girls, they really don't get it that if a guy is on his game, where do you fit in his life?
Yeah.
You can only find a fool.
Just watched the Pop the Balloon from Arizona with Arlette, and it kind of is reminiscent of this, because you have a chick pop, and I hate this, it's the most immature thing for a woman to pop on a man asking the question, what do you bring to the table? That is just so immature, and that's what was shown on the Pop the Balloon, I believe it was on yesterday that I caught. And it's just ridiculous. Like, you're wanting to know, you're expecting the man to bring this, that, and the other. You want to know what his finances like, how he makes his bread, how stable he is. Does he have his own place, his own vehicle, transportation? You want to know how he interacts with, you know, people around him in his community, in his circle, his family. You want to know all these things. But the minute a man wants to know, if I meet this long list of standards that you have for me, what do I get back in return? That is so wild that a man can't even ask that question. Can't even ask. I mean, yes, it's somewhat kind of played out in a way, but it's a direct way to ask the question. Hey, you know, instead of saying, what can you do for me? Hey, what do you bring to the table? And men should have the right, and definitely we do have the right to ask, so we can know what are we getting out of the deal. If I'm providing everything that you want, lifestyle, all that stuff, what do I get in return? Being cute, being pretty, being bad, quote unquote, ain't enough, especially for a man who has it. A man, like they said, with resources, a man who has options, who has pretty women amongst him in the surroundings that he has access to. That's nothing. he can trade you out, you know what I'm saying, with no problem. So it's like, it's so wild to me that till this day, grown people, grown women over 30, you know, conduct themselves like that. It's crazy.
Find a fool. Or at least that's my opinion. You know, what you said, because like I want you to cook. I'm loving letting you cook on here, man. Somebody said you got to get O'Shea Duke Jackson on the show. We gonna get O'Shea Jackson. O'Shea, I love you, boy.
Definitely gonna be reacting.
Like O'Shea feel like I scolded him a little
content.
bit. It ain't like that, brother. I love you, man. We gonna get you on the show too. He just sent us. I don't know how much money that is in Africa. It's probably $5. we love O'Shea Duke Jackson. But back on the thing we're talking about, yeah, there's our society has something wrong when it comes to the men and women collaboration. There's something dividing there. And who has the answers? Who's going to talk about it? I mean, I talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, but it's necessary for us. It's necessary to be able to talk about. I know, you know, there's been a little bit of content of like Kevin Samuels talking about the B.Simone situation, you know, years ago. And to know that he was right? They're digging up old content for him talking about where her career was going to go. Something about, you know, a couple of content pieces away from, you know, not having an audience no more, which was, you know, the sign of the times. You know, if you created content during that time of 2020, a lot of content creators were eating because everybody was home. You know, fast forward to now, you know, it may not have the same, but, you know, we got to be able to talk about this delusion, right? Because the more that we talk about it, you know, the better that people can make choices in going into the future. You know, that's why your platform is so necessary, Corey.
Man, I appreciate you saying that. Do we have that video where brother Kevin Samuels brought up this young lady who found a way to get famous and get the momentum going? But one thing I'm going to tell you about this entertainment business, brother, staying power is not easy. You cannot be a gimmick. There was an episode on The Simpsons where Bart Simpson said something like, where did he go? Where did he go? And everybody was laughing at it. And he started going on tour just saying, where did he go? Then after a while, he was like, where did he go? And people was like,
swearing them down.
Right. It's like,
or if they got old.
Yeah.
Right.
It happens. But you got that video? Let me see that video, brother. We're going to try to play this video. You ain't seen this.
All it takes for you to come down to reality, B.Simone, is one wrong post.
Facts.
You are one viral video away, one internet canceling away from being back at Forever 21 selling shit. Since you're an entertainer. Very good one. But it's not like, you know, in times of national emergency, the world, the country turns and says, what's going on Wild 'N Out? What's
Right.
B.Simone saying? All it takes for you to come down to reality, B.Simone.
Facts. 1,000% right.
Yeah, What do you think about that?
Man, I mean, it's crazy how.
Like you said, it's crazy. It's funny because a lot of the things he was saying before he passed, you're starting to see it manifest and see it kind of like present itself even now, you know, years later. The situation with Tracy Ellis Ross and, you know, such people like that he spoke about, Vivica Fox and many more that he spoke about, just the whole archetype of the women that he often spoke about. You're seeing them run into those situations, hitting the wall. That's why he got a lot of hate, you know what I'm saying, before he passed, because those women and those individuals, even the men that he talked to, you know what I'm saying, on that side of his content, they knew internally that he was right, you know what I'm saying, so they hated him for that. But now you can't deny, because we have the evidence, you know what I'm saying, right here in front of our faces. You can't deny what he was saying. It's true. It was right. Most of it, at least.
How much he's able to, predict from, even after passing away. But he's absolutely right. I think that, they have this illusion of options. You know what I mean? They love to talk about standards, but then when the attention dries up, when the money slows down, and then when that wall gets closer, when that wall cometh, their standards and expectations that they have is necessary that they then turn into just suggestions at that point. But yeah, he killed it. He nailed it.
It's like in this world, you can go along with it. I mean, who are we to tell her not to go along with it? She found a way to be relevant for a minute. But why are you relevant if you do dirtbag shit like, I got a homegirl, her name is Just Niece. She don't want no smoke with none of them, so I ain't trying to say that to bring drama to her name. But, that girl B.Simone used to do her jokes. Then when I found out she stole a book, and I've seen the girl talk, I don't think she's mentally well. So I ain't got to dog her out and everything like that. But I'm saying while it was coming in, you know what I'm saying? I know it was fun.
Yeah.
Time of Your Life, huh, kid? That's from that movie. With I forgot. Old boy was the pimp.
Which one was that?
I forgot. Who the dude who played? I'm trying to remember now with my old ass. The dude who played in the Mission Impossible movies. Who is that? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Risky Business. That's the name of the movie.
Older, okay.
That's older.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I know, Corey, you said you don't want to say too much, right?
No, be you, brother. Be you.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I just think she's not a good person. I mean, let's call it a spade, because even outside of this 9 to 5 conversation, if you look at that content, if you look at the podcast and just go back like a minute and a half, right before she starts talking about H&M and all of that, the best friend that she had was talking about like the hard times that she suffered over the past year. Like she was a single mom, had to go back into live with her parents, got her car repoed, and then a minute and a half later, she's talking about, damn near crying about going into H&M, right? So like you're seeking out all of this validation with all of these people around you, you giving them money, but how soulless are you that you can't even help out the person that's the closest person to you? Like, I just think that that's just weak character.
It's diabolical. Like, you sat there up in that girl's face. I saw the clips on that podcast. You sat there talking about some Jesus. Like, and she knew, like, you gotta internally check yourself. Like, you know good and well you was wrong. Like, I don't know how true it is or whatever the situation may be, that she was, helping other people out, giving other people checks and things like that. You don't necessarily know what that's for. I mean, her friend would know more than us as the public, but if that is true, you're out here helping others, doing decent. You don't even have to be doing well. You could just really be doing better than that individual. You don't have to be making millions, thousands. You just got to be doing better than the next man. If you're doing better than them and you know they're struggling, and that's the person that you're saying is the closest to you, your quote-unquote best friend, and you don't do nothing to help them in their time of need, like, it's one thing. Even if, like, it's one thing if she was like, you know what, I need to go through this. I appreciate you, if you offered, I appreciate you offering your help, but nah, I need to go through this. I need experiences, experience those type of things. If that's what she said, then it would be understandable. But even still, like, I think a person with decent character would still want to help in some form of fashion, would still shoot you something, do something like to help you, in your struggle. But to sit there and not do nothing is diabolical. It's wild. Like, that is so crazy. That really speaks on your character that's like you would sit there and watch something burn, knowing that you can help, knowing that you got the fire extinguisher right next to you, and you can help minimize the damage, but you just sit there and let it burn. That is crazy. That really does speak negatively of a person's character. Me, myself, I have those who are real close to me. If they need it, you know what I'm saying? I don't ask no questions, anything like that. They ask me, there you go. Like, and a lot of times I don't expect it back, but it may be something like if I need to take care of something and I need your assistance in some other form of area, like we lean on each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should be doing as a quote unquote best friend for those who are close to you. And even for if it's somebody who's not necessarily as close and who I'm familiar with, who I can trust that they're being genuine and such things like that. If I got it, then I'm a help, because that's really how you get your blessings and how things are given to you. Tenfold is by helping other people, and you ain't even gotta broadcast it. It's crazy that she would sit there and let her friend go through all that struggle and you not do anything.
Let me tell you something, man. People
about now. I had no idea who you
people
guys were talking
keep
about. Sorry.
minions around.
Girl.
People who find a way to break through, but aren't the truth as talent. They have to have minions around them, and they don't ever want to see those minions doing well, especially in any way where they're doing well as them. So that type of behavior doesn't surprise me. I know how it go. You would rather see a stranger get it than the girl. So I'm saying that because I think I got you by some years, my brother. As you are out here and you build friendships, alliances with people, just always remember there's a mentality inside of a lot of human beings. I don't want you to be as well as I am. I don't want you to be as well off as I am. I don't want you to be doing good or just as good as me. So I see that in that girl also, but to luck with her. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear how I said that? To luck with her.
It's probably tough that she's got to deal with these situations, these character flaws in front of the damn world. But, someone needs to pull it to the side and, have a real conversation with her, the same way that you having a real conversation with me. And I appreciate that, which is why, again, I say that platforms like yours is just so necessary, so needed, bro.
You brought to attention Michelle Obama's podcast because I saw it and my mouth dropped at what I heard her say. What did you hear her say? I know it was a lot of things, but what was the main thing that made your mouth drop?
Yeah. So for folks that didn't see, Michelle Obama now has a podcast, and where she just interviews like random people, and she had one with, I believe it was Angie Martinez. And it was towards the end of the show. And throughout the show, at random times, they were talking about family structure, raising boys, raising girls, and kind of the difference between the two. Angie Martinez, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, so excuse me. Angie Martinez asked her, I bet you wish you could have raised the boy. And then Michelle Obama fired back, oh, no, that I raise a boy. But that raising a boy would have been like raising another Barack. I could never. Which is so crazy to me, right?
Didn't she say that? Ain't that crazy?
Complete trash.
Crazy. The literal the leader of the free world times two, right?
Kidding me? Her husband. What you talking about? Her husband.
Probably one of the most famous black men in the world. And what does that signal when Barack Obama is still not good enough?
I already know what you're saying. See, I'm gonna try to say something about this and be as kind as I can, which I don't know how good that's gonna be. I've never seen Barack Obama do nothing but hold her in the air and give her praise. In fact, when he speaks on her, I see proud in his eye. Now let's turn it around. This is his wife, and I see and hear resentment as she speaks. And I think the resentment grew as she got more and more famous. It brought her, it made her cocky. So now she's not afraid to speak her mind on this man. And I'm going to say something about, God dog it. It's so hard for me to speak from the heart because I know people are going to get mad, but I'm going to say it. Barack Obama, in my opinion, he can't be trusted because I believe he has a fetish for men. And I believe if you have a fetish for men, you really can't be yourself in front of people. You
That is so wild. But some say there's some truth to it. All I know is he's definitely a weak man. He's definitely it's a matriarchy for sure in that household. She's running things and he sits back and takes it. Like, so I can see how she would be frustrated and everything because essentially I believe personally he was a puppet in the whole thing. Even from the point of marriage, I believe that it was predominantly her and maybe his team, who orchestrated him in the path of becoming president. So it's like, I can see how she can have some resentment and want to be in the limelight and, be out of his shadow now, and can freely speak openly about it because he's done. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, that's the highest office. It really ain't much going back, like, what's next for him, otherwise, outside of retirement. So now she can speak and show the unruly character that she has, and to be talking wild and essentially, kind of disparaging his name and being passive aggressive, things she has done and her character, her actions, it has shown how much she resents him. And it's crazy because for him to have put up with it, and even now not really being vocal about it or bringing her back in, kind of ringing it back in and tighten the ship up, shows like he's really a man of weak character and doesn't have much of a backbone. He's not like the foundation, the rock in that situation. So of course, like, she gonna be mad that she's not the one who's in a position and being able to dictate and all this stuff or get the glory, that he got. I can see that. I can see that.
You can't. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, Mr. Barack Obama, I give you respect because I don't want to look like I'm hating. Did y'all hear what I said? I give you respect because I don't want to look like I'm hating, but it looks like you're fighting a demon. And your wife, in my opinion, really resents you for that because she already has to deal with the fact that so many women don't never want to say this. They're jealous of manhood. Manhood comes with the freedom that a woman could never have. Women have to bear the children. And I think that this is stuff that's never really said. Women have to bear the children. I believe a lot of women don't like the fact that they have to bear the children. But this is, if you go off what the Bible talks about, this is what happened after Adam and Eve got
That boy was already looking up scriptures that whole time.
kicked out of the garden. They both were kicked out of the garden. According to the Bible now. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm just saying,
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel bad for men. I think men have it really rough.
yeah, I know you think that, D, but I'm saying this is a fact. In the Bible, it says
Oh, that's a cute picture of them.
they're going to yearn for men. I think women have issues with their yearning for men. There's a wicked spirit inside of them that makes them regret the yearn for men, because no matter how much they talk about men, dick stay up in them. I had to say it like that. I couldn't sugarcoat that. No matter how much these women talk about, oh, men, this, that, and the other, dick stay up in them. You know what I'm saying? They mad. They got the pain during labor, the menstrual cycle, all this stuff that comes with being a woman. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like we have dominance over you women. You know what I'm saying? You perpetrate like you have dominance over us until something happens. And then when something happens, it's like, oh, I need help from a man. You get what I'm saying? They struggle with who they are instead of realizing this is my purpose on this planet. I don't need to struggle against it. I need to embrace my role as a woman. So Michelle Obama,
exactly.
You could just see it in her eyes. She wants to be a man, but she's not.
She probably wanted his power. I mean, she
Definitely a terrible screenshot.
That ain't what you talking about. I want to make sure you get your word in.
I've listened to both their books, and I believe that she wanted to be just as powerful as he was, but she ended up having to marry him. So she ended up being, the wife. I've listened to both their books.
What was she again, D? She was the wife, right?
She was the wife.
She was the wife.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say they want to be men, but it's 1,000% correct what he's saying, biblically, and we have this, you can see it kind of manifesting in this whole idea of trying to reach equality, and more than that, trying to gain equity, which is impossible. Men and women are not equal. Just straight up facts what it is, in respect, in comparison to man versus woman, and especially when it comes to the dynamics of dating and things like that. We're not. Now, when it comes to humanity, of course, a man is not greater than a woman, and vice versa. A woman is not greater than a man in humanity and the way God sees us on this earth. So we get that. Everybody deserves a level of humanity and dignity. You know what I'm saying? It should be expected, both man and woman. But the differences seem so small, but they're so vast between man and woman that being equal is not the same. Trying to achieve equality it's a waste of time, because that shouldn't be our goal, to try to achieve equality when it comes to dating and all those sorts of things. Like, we have our dedicated roles to what God made us to be, like, and that just is what it is. And the sooner and the quicker that we accept that, we realize that we walk into it, it can help us realign and redirect the world and help things get back into order. There's a certain order to things. There's a certain balance that things are intended to have. And the more we try to switch and try to make things fluid and all that, like that's what throws off the balance. And either way, whether you fall left or fall right, it's no good. We need to be in our roles and our positions, working on our purpose and doing what we are intended and made to do.
And I believe that she, and this was way back when, of course, when they were younger. I mean, of course, the man had dreams and goals and all that. And I think maybe she didn't even really truly believe it was going to happen for him.
Boss lady, I saw you say it comes natural to us. We okay, Corey. Boss lady, you not like a lot of the women out here who feel as though being a woman is a burden. There's burden that come with being a woman. There's burden that comes with being a man. But what you have to do as a woman to live a respectable life is something that I feel like a lot of women really regret. They will talk about what somebody don't want and how men are bad and don't love and all that. But most of them have killed their babies because it was inconvenient.
Listen, it
takes somebody cold to kill their baby.
Yeah,
I ain't never killed a baby.
Act like it's not a baby.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna let you cook, little bro. Go ahead. What you think about this? Because I put a lot out there. I'm sorry.
You put so much out there, but but the stats is actually crazy in regards to that. Like a lot of people don't know this, but in New York, there was more self-deletions of babies than births last year, which is an incredible stat if you think about it.
Incredible stat. See, I heard. Yeah. Could you just say that one more time?
There was more self-deletions, baby self-deletions. Sorry,
he being nice
in a way. I'm trying to
bitches
say things in a way that
kids more than kids were born.
He's looking at his monetization, so
and that's crazy. And so it's interesting is because the way that it's framed within media is to call men the aggressive ones, the murderers, they do all of these different, you can't walk out in the street without a man like accosting you. Meanwhile, in private, that's happening at a rate more than births, which is insane. But I wanted to get back to your main point, because I thought it was genius that the idea that there's a degree of resentment there. But like the movement that supplants that is feminism, like modern day feminism, not like old school feminism when it was just about equality, but a lot of the tropes, right, of modern day feminists, it's like this equalization to men, right? So there's like a resentment that Barack was able to go out there and create something, and then she's trying these really subtle passive aggressive ways, like these really damaging incendiary ways in order to get back at him. Meanwhile, we wouldn't know anything about Michelle Obama if it wasn't for Barack being a winner.
There you go.
I do gotta say this. I 100% agree that feminism is an issue, and it definitely branched out and caused a lot of the misalignment that we have in today's society, especially in the minds of women, unfortunately. But that's who it was directed towards. So it definitely needs to be talked about and needs to be brought to light so we can kind of uncover what that does and the damage that it's doing, especially to, what we call the black community. But it's getting annoying to me. Yes, feminism is a problem, but all it is a tool. I'm definitely, if there's a such thing as girl's girl, definitely a man's man. And that way is that I believe that men, have a certain place and a certain role and a certain purpose, and we just stand in that. We have certain expectations and standards and a level of integrity and everything that we're intended to adhere to. So I'm definitely a person who believes in that masculine role and everything like that. But to blame where we are now solely, mostly on feminism is getting very tiring and annoying to hear. Yes, like I said, it's an issue, but it's a tool. That's all it is, and a tool that was implemented by men. You know what I'm saying? The woman who kind of, I think it was Margaret Sanger. I don't know. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I know she was at the forefront of it all when it first sprouted and took root. She was at the forefront, but she couldn't get into the position to do that unless a man allowed her to. Men have the monopoly on force application. So if men don't want something to happen, we don't have to allow it to happen. We can stop it because we have the force side of the game. We have the strength, we have the power, that side of the aspect to prevent certain things from happening. We have the strength, the literal force, the strength to prevent things from happening. If a man didn't want feminism to start and take root, then it wouldn't have. But it was the greed of men and the lust of men who allowed those things to take root, because essentially that's what feminism was a tool of, was a tool for corporations to make money, to introduce women into the workforce, to put more labor out there, bring down wages, you know what I'm saying? Because the more people we have working, the wages that are required to be paid, that's simple economics of supply and demand. So it's like, and amongst other reasons, but essentially it was implemented in order to, one, control people and destroy families and men. But the main tool is greed, and that was implemented by men. So I need men to take accountability for that. And it is right when we have these conversations for women to be like, hey, you know, men are to blame as well, because it is true. The greed of men, and men could stop it today if they wanted to. They really could. And nobody could stop us if all the men got together and decided, hey, we need to end this right now, we could. But it's other men who have the resources and the backing, financial backing, who making those top decisions that are preventing that from happening, who are willing those things to happen. So it's like, men, we can't blame women like that to that degree. The root of it starts with greed and lust, men lusting after women so badly or so heavily that they allow something that's essentially evil to take root and destroy society, and use it as a tool to do so. Like, so there's accountability that needs to be had on both sides.
We would know nothing about her.
Amen.
And I think, to your point, Corey, it eats at her. So she tries at every. You know what I gotta say? Like, for Michelle, what if her daughters brought in a young man that's like Barack Obama to date?
I just think I think Michelle would be jealous.
And then boom, the cycle then initiates.
I think Michelle would be jealous if her daughters were able to capture somebody like Barack. Cause see, this is gonna give me some flack too. I love that this is happening to Barack, because he's not like me. They always blame it on a guy who's real masculine or whatever. Barack is a puppy dog.
That's what I was gonna say, but doesn't he seems like a good man, right?
Barack,
take it home.
Look at that picture right there. He want to kiss that man in the mouth so bad. But anyway, I'm saying, no, I've never looked at a man like that. I don't think. If you get a picture of me looking at a man like
That's
that,
it. Now we're going to look at all the
It's AI, Corey. It's not real.
it's not real.
And you wouldn't. I
Jordan,
really
like,
don't
look at his,
I really
food
don't believe
booty
that.
looking at
It
me.
is Michael Jordan. I'm pretty sure we would. Had he not have said that, we may have found a picture of Corey. Like, there goes Michael Jordan. Come on now.
Darlene, you look like that at a lot of men, but it's all good.
So what? It's just looks. Oh my goodness.
But no, what up? Back to the points, because see, I don't want to get off the points acting silly.
Doesn't faze me.
Yeah. Hey, bro, listen. The fact that what's up, baby? The fact that more children were aborted than born in New York last year.
Crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This is a hard evidence example of what the ladies are. You can try to run from it if you want to, but this
that's
is
crazy.
a hard evidence example of who the ladies are.
Wow. When were those? Like, wow.
So you can go around and keep playing victim if that's what you want to say. But I mean, I'm trying to wake the women up who want to be saved, who will be saved. You can't live like that. You can't try to delete everything that you don't want. Because some of these things you're deleting, you really need them. You need your kids. It's just you don't want your kids. You need your Barack, but you don't want your Barack. I know a lot of girls that I used to deal with that's out there in the street and they want to come home. But guess what? I found another one. It's almost like an outfit. I found another one. What, am I get rid of my new outfit for the whole outfit?
This guy.
I can't do it. So I'm just saying, it's like, you're not married, are you, brother?
No, I'm not married.
I knew he wasn't married. I could tell by looking at him. There's a glow in your eyes.
Oh,
Happiness.
my Lord. So no
that's why I look so young.
No married men glow, Corey.
You ain't seen him one time. I'm doing the podcast. Just wait.
No.
You ain't seen him do that. He looks like he's happy in his space. Yeah. See, I'm an older guy. I'm an OG, so I know. Yeah, man, these takes, we like what we're doing now, we just winging it, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to overtalk everything, but yo, it's so much to say when I see somebody like Miss Obama not with him when he attended that funeral.
Oh, yeah, that just...
When I saw that, I knew everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, what could be more important than having him out there looking stupid around all these
Everybody was with their ladies.
these other people.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that was terrible.
And what she had to say about it, and now what she's saying, her podcast is exposing her in a way that's going to make people be like.
And a lot of people would think that's such a minuscule thing that she wasn't there, but it speaks so much and great volume in many different rooms that she wasn't there to support him publicly. Like, that speaks a lot. And if you really take some time to analyze it and think about it, when you're considering on the level that they're on, like, it speaks volumes that she was not there to attend, with him at that funeral. Regardless of whether you know what I'm saying, didn't like who was there and et cetera, like, it's going to look a certain way.
She's going to be back in Forever 21 soon.
There's nothing wrong with
But you know what's crazy? But if we don't talk about it, they're going to put her up on a pedestal and act like there's nothing wrong, the same way they've done for decades now. So that's why it's so important to be able to talk about it. And I also want to enter into the conversation that often the conversation is about protecting Black women. But what about Black men in this situation, right? Because the expectation of protection, provision, shut up and just be grateful, even when your significant other or your wife in this case is essentially throwing you under the bus. or trying to ruin your public perception of the type of man that you are just to propagate likes, right? Or just to go on a press run, right? Like, we got to start talking about that. Like, what protection goes both ways.
Definitely.
And you can't build strong families if you keep on emasculating, even if it's in a passive aggressive way, but emasculating the men that you choose.
There's definitely different ways that a woman can protect a man, and she should and supposed to. And the way that a woman protects a man doesn't necessarily look the same way as a man protects a woman. But a woman can protect a man by the way she carries herself, by the way she conducts herself in certain situations, especially when it involves other men. So many times we see stories and situations that pop up. A woman talking reckless to a man in public, and you out with your girl, and cause a disturbance to where that man feels insulted and now is trying to harm her or whatever the case may be. And some dudes just ain't got it all. Some dudes gonna crash out, man or woman, they gonna crash out on you. So now you jeopardize your own life and the life of your man, all because you were unruly and didn't handle and conduct yourself a certain way. That's a form of protection. How you dress is a form of protection. If you dress more modestly and not out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to bring more attention to yourself, I don't care, whatever reason you formulate in your head, whatever coping mechanisms that you got to use to say, oh, this is for me, this not for nobody else, it's cap. I don't want to hear it. It's all cap. And regardless of reason, the way you dress, no matter what room you go in, affects you and the people around you. Otherwise, you wouldn't put it on. So the way you dress, unfortunately, can encourage other men who don't have access to you, who don't know you, other men who see you, who may want to approach you, and there's a handful of men who would do it in a disrespectful way, and now you've welcomed that attention upon yourself. Not to say that he may or may not have approached you, you know what I'm saying, regardless, but we have to play the game of probabilities. The probability decreases when you dress a certain way and you carry yourself a certain way. If a man approaches you in the positive for him, it can yield certain results. So it's like you have to be mindful of those types of things. And that is, again, a form of protection that a woman can have for her man, being considerate of how does this make my husband look? What position do I put my man in if I do this, that, and the third? Those are things that a woman should consider.
Yeah.
Well, the last part of that sentence is really what needs to be thrown up in the air and blew up like firecrackers. The men that you choose. See, if you want to observe men that you don't know, the people out here who are intelligent, we're like, okay, she's just talking about men because of her experience or whatever. But when you have a career-losing record with the dick's just been put up in you. I can't say it no other way. When your dick up in you stats are losing stats, how do you stand up and look people in the eye and say something is wrong with everybody else? How do you do it? I just don't understand. Like, there's some women out here who almost all of the guys they dealt with, they're still cool with. And I noticed that, especially when I meet somebody. I'm like, so the dicks before me, where are they?
Oh, my God.
I really want to meet. I have met the dicks before me, and I'm talking about with the women that are still cool with those guys, and we get along because I can tell if she's messing with him because I'm Superman on the instinct side of the game. But I think it should be a study done. You have to meet at least one of the last 3 guys that she was sleeping with. You have to have some idea of who you're dealing with. It's called like in order to study something, you have to check the history of it and break it down, right? We don't think to meet the last 3 guys, or at least one of the last 3 guys, because believe me, it's at least 3. That's a low number. And get to know, well, what was your study on her? What happened with you and her? Why you guys didn't make it? All like that. In order to make a good choice on who you're dealing with.
Come on.
Why not do the typical or the usual way of spending quality time or dealing with heavy duty stuff with that person? If you really want to get to know them, you'll get to know them pretty quick.
Get to know who?
The woman. I mean, you're saying you're going to find out this information by the other 3 guys. Well, they're not there anymore. I'd be almost leery.
I'm so glad you said that, D. A woman, for the most part, is not capable of being honest about who she is.
That's why you spend time. You'll be able to see in certain scenarios, you'll be able to see that. How does she react? How is she dealing with something? Yes.
You joking.
No, but then again, I know that he does. No, but then again, I know that he doesn't. No, but I know that he doesn't have. Exactly, because I'm just that kind of woman. That's
She
all.
didn't even get that, what you just said.
I did. I get it.
I mean,
but I'm just saying that in coming from this kind of a guy, where he's not out there dating.
I'm not Barack Obama.
Yeah,
That's the
if you
type of
want to
guy
say
who would be ideal, right?
Or if you're not dating to make that woman a particular type of woman to you.
You
I already
will
get it.
never
He won't do that.
find out.
He's not dating for that reason, so I get it. I get it.
You will never find out who a woman is by only being around her.
Not only.
You need to find out some information that most of the times it shows itself. Most of the time it shows itself. But let's just say it's this woman that you haven't figured out. One day I was with this girl and her phone never rung around me. And I even called her phone to see if it'll ring. And it rung. I was like, wait a minute. This is a bitch. This ain't no good person. So, you know what I'm saying? I start popping up on her. And just like I was so happy to see another guy over there. I was like, I thought it was me. I thought you was a good person. But now I have proof you are who I thought you were. You two continue. I'll just come in my time.
That's wild.
And that's the kind of woman you want. It's okay.
No, that's the common choice in this Western world. And New York statistics prove it.
Yeah. Come on.
So what you gonna say? The women in LA better than the? I bet if we did the statistics in LA,
Might be worse.
it'd be worse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Darlene is so she's in a bad spot because she's a woman on the show.
I can't even finish a joke. Like I can't even finish a joke because the moment I even open my I was actually going to make a joke.
It's my fault.
About that they have winters, we don't. Like of course it's going to be worse because they're indoors.
Can you please
just have
try to
nothing but
finish it?
sex? That was it.
That was a joke?
I was going to make a joke. It was going to be better, but then you interrupted.
I saved you.
I was going to say, you said the West Coast. I was going to say it's probably worse in New York because they have winters. They're probably indoors. Nothing else to do but screw. So, but thank you for interrupting me and cutting me out. But
Okay. All right, D.
Bless her heart. Listen, you never buy a car without looking at the Carfax.
you
ever.
should take some time to vet if you want that. But I don't think Corey, wants somebody like that around him.
Listen, you look at the car and it's in pristine looking condition. You run the file on it and it had water damage, fire damage, engine replaced, and a whole bunch of issues. It's slim pickings out here. I say of potentially marriage worthy women, it's probably less than 5%. And a lot don't realize that You know, these women, you know, you on a shot clock more than men. As men age, we get better over time, more often than not. As women age, you know, again, you up against that shot clock.
Now, that truth that you just spoke would insult most of the females I know. I'm not talking about the females in the world. I'm talking about the females I know. They would be mad at you for saying that.
They often are.
They would be mad just hearing that.
Yeah, but if it doesn't faze him, it's like, okay, that's his take on it.
It's just like,
Don't faze him.
and if it's okay, we're not keeping you too long, are we, brother?
No, we good, man. We good. Yeah, we can chop it up.
There was a YouTuber. I want to bring this up because I don't know the brother, but I watch content about me all the time.
Oh God, here we go.
And I can't really say nothing about everybody and what they do. But what I'm saying is, there was a YouTuber who, he basically said, I think all women are bitches. And I don't think all women are bitches.
Not at all.
I think bitches respond to the word bitch, and all bitches are not female. That's what I think. I think bitches respond to the word bitch, and all bitches are not female.
I don't even like when a woman refers to herself as that. I don't use the word, like that. Rarely, really not at all. But just seeing a woman refer to herself as that is a low-key a turn off. It's like, come on, man. We know the connotation. Whether it's, you can't turn something bad that was meant for negative into something good. The root of that negative thing is always going to be there. Unless you pull the entire thing out and you replace it with something else, the root of that negative thing is always going to be there. You can't get rid of it. You can't cut around it. They'll just grow together. So the negative connotation of that word and anything else that we could be speaking of is always going to grow and mix in with that good that you're trying to put in there. It just is what it is. It's the nature of it. That's biblical. That's biblical. That's straight up facts right there. You can't remove the bad root of something and then try to turn it into a positive. It's a bad tree. It's gonna yield bad fruit. It just is what it is.
I don't know this guy's name. I don't know his name, but the way he was talking, if you listen to him, you would think Corey thinks all women are bitches.
That's wild.
Like, he took that on the serious tip for, like, he actually said that on his.
I think he means this seriously, or he's just doing it for content, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what they try
Doesn't
to
matter if you put it out there.
Yeah.
If you put it out there, you put it out there, because he's trying to philosophize, and I'm with YouTubers philosophizing. I don't take it personal, but sometimes I just want to correct people so bad.
Yeah.
When I hear my name involved with it, I love women and got receipts to show it.
Yeah.
I love women. I got receipts to show my contribution to womanhood. But the word bitch is thrown out there to describe bitches, and bitches get mad.
And there's a difference, and they should know the difference, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's actually some of the issue with some of the dudes is the inability to understand what's a woman and what's a bitch, what's a hoe. They got to be able to understand the difference between the two. And
what is it? What is it?
You said, what's the difference?
What's the difference between a woman and a bitch? You want me to go first? Or you got it?
I mean, for me, it's the intended result, right? A bitch is only going to be for fun for the short time. Usually they have an image, right? Whether or not the hair is red, the shit is glued onto the foreheads. Usually they're just fast, and a lot of them don't even realize that they're in their category. Whereas, and they definitely don't respect men, right? The type of content that they expose themselves to is just debaucherous, ratchet, right? But the difference is with a woman, right? You could take them seriously, right? They give respect to themselves. They honor themselves. They give respect to the men around them, right? They don't waste their time going back and forth with the, on the internet just for fun. Not talking about they're doing it for content, right? And they respect themselves. That's why, and they give me the same type of feedback as well, Corey. But that's why, the men in my community, I refer to them as the MT Army. But the women in my community, I refer to them as the MTRs. All right, it's a play on words from MTR. But I make sure that I acknowledge those women, right? Because they have certain behavior traits and or characteristics, or I call them MTRs in training, or they're trying to get to that level because they've been so brainwashed to just believe these certain things, and they're stuck in this delusion, and they don't snap out of it until they get older. And then they end up like a Vivica Fox, a Cray Summers, any of these old chicks that you can see there's regret in their life. And they still dusty, they single as hell, right? And no disrespect, but we gotta talk about them like that from time to time, just so they can see the difference. That you don't want those lives. As people, we're supposed to be together at the end of the day. Life's about relationships, it's about community.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
But we lose sight of that. And we should not lose sight of that. And treat and be able to treat each other well. So yeah, there's a big difference. There is a big difference. The men know this, but I think that we haven't had a place to talk about this. So we got overrun with bitches that have been guiding the media, right? And bullshit have been guiding the media without any type of critique, feedback, or criticism as to what's good or what's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell you what, I judge you off your deeds. I judge you off your deeds. Now, a woman is going to come with respect. And I think respect should always be given back when people come respectfully. You don't just try to dog out somebody who's coming with respect. Respect is it's really an imaginary word to me because there's really only fear. But I'm saying if somebody is respectful when they're talking to me, if somebody is respectful how they conduct themselves, I'm going to give them that back because in my opinion, in this crazy world, they deserve that. But if you're on the internet or in the streets conducting yourself as an undesirable, I don't have to say nothing to you, but my response to you is going to be an undesirable response. And I'm not saying that makes me right. But what I'm saying is it's very hard to be phony with you when I know this $200 is going to get me in your ass, bitch. It's very difficult to be phony when I know you need me. B.Simone, she needs help. This whole thing is a cry for the next lick. Everybody smart knows that. The girl on Cam Newton's show a couple of weeks ago, Kate Michelle, that's a cry out. Somebody come get me. Somebody come get me. But how you are bringing it is not respectful. So you're going to get this type of response back from me. That's what I'm trying to say.
I believe
it's
that.
A duck on your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I've always said that a lot of women will come and tell me that there's a certain dude that they don't care for, right? Like, I don't like him. And I'm like, why? Well, how he treats me or how he speaks to me or how I don't like him, how he reacts to me. I can't even say it. I'm like, well, that says a lot because I, on the other hand, have a pretty good relationship with that person. Like I'll say, oh, when I met him, he was fine to me. Well, wonder why. I'm like, I think it's a respect thing. They know who to respect. I said, he doesn't treat me like that. Oh, okay.
That's the ugliest bitch on the screen. I ain't even gonna lie, in my opinion. That's the ugliest bitch.
Is that who you I think I saw a clip of that.
She looked like a fat lady even when she lost some weight. This all that makeup and shit. I see through all of that.
Hey, like I told y'all,
that's
solid
lunchroom
5.
lady to me.
And by
Can we get her off the screen?
And by the
Solid.
way, what MTR said, I know the clip now. Now I saw
Solid
that because it's
5.
going, like you said, viral, what have you. So I did see that clip, and I know now what you're referring to about the friend thing. That stood out more to me too, because that says a lot about that person. Well, that really wasn't your friend. She didn't have respect for her. I mean, it's not like she even responded with any kind of compassion when she was saying like, oh, I was broke. So that friend was like, yeah, I know you were. Like, she didn't care. Like, I wasn't going to help you out. Like, that's what I read. I read that like, wow.
Wow.
See, so you earned that. Nobody, that friend was not really your friend. She didn't want to help you out when she had the ability to. That said a lot.
With friends like that, you don't even need enemies.
it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that stood out a lot. So,
Man, look, you know what we're gonna do, man? Like you, my brother MTR, there's other guys out here who operate with integrity and they're approachable. We're gonna have a big round table one day because it's overdue, man. Like, this whole YouTube thing, man, is like, okay, we find a way to get out there. But how can we build our own super network? Because it's there for the people that people respect in a way. I'm not saying who I am, because there's a lot of people who don't respect me at all. But what I'm saying is I'm smart enough to know people who know how to talk straight up about what's happening, man. And I'm saying it's like, I'm gonna have a couple of other guys on, and I just want you to know, man, I see what you do, and it's well received, not just by me. I see a lot of people in my chat. They were just like Darlene, very happy to see you on here, man. So listen, when you got something going on and you really want to talk about it, man, you reach out to me and let's try to put it out there, man. I'm here for you, brother.
can I
Hey, man,
ask a
I
question?
appreciate that, man. And
Darlene want to ask you something.
Go ahead, Darlene.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you good, D.
Because I've been...
Shut up! No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead, D.
That's okay. See, that doesn't faze me. I move in silence, so... Anyway, what's your take on those? Because, see, they're entertaining to me, but what's your take on all those, like, pop the balloon type shows? Because I think it's so comical because... I'm like, are people really taking any of those seriously? Because it's like, it really is based on such shallow, like, up looks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's got this. He's short. He's wearing this. She's wearing that. What? I'm like, do you guys really think, is there anybody out there that really thinks that those shows, you can really go somewhere with that? I mean, you're getting the most shallow thing from a person by saying, popping it because I don't care about this about the person. What's your take on these shows? I've seen you give some commentary on some.
Yeah, so the thing is that I understand what you're saying, but watching a pop the balloon in public is like getting on a dating app in private. The same things that they're expelling the people for on YouTube is the same things that people are getting expelled for on a dating app. And as petty as what some of these things are, it just exposes what modern men and what modern women are thinking about. But, you know, to me, it just never fails the difference in why a man is going to pop the balloon on a woman versus the reasons that the women pop the balloons on men. And, you know, it just goes back to standards and expectations. But then not only that, but if you cross-reference, and this goes back to Corey's earlier point, if you cross-reference the things that they are saying, right, on that stage with going on their digital footprint, looking at their social media. Like, how are you a God-fearing woman? And then I go onto your social media and I can see your butthole. It should be no way. Like, you just got exposed to being a liar. And that's why, like, I think, you know, my particular reactions took umbrage to some of the creators of the Pop the Balloons because I would find these things out. So it would ruin sort of the guise to, so to speak, of, you know, everyone thinking that it would be a good match. And then you go look at the way that they conduct themselves or portray themselves. Like, look at their execution, like their actions in real life. and you realize that the words was just a bunch of bullshit. Run the Carfax, just like I said earlier.
It's not their true character, right? It's whatever sounds good.
Yeah, I never watched those shows because, like, I want to create a superhero, and he is the strongest of all the superheroes. But if a woman starts talking to him, his powers go away. That's the type of superhero I think I'm going to create, because he's a realistic superhero. Because once we get wooed into what most of the ladies are talking about, we lose our power. I know some of the strongest guys in the world, and they was like, "Hey man, this is my new wife." And
They just melted. They got a little whoop there, huh?
that's his ass.
Oh man.
That's it. That's your ass right there, boy. But anyway,
There you go. There you have it. It was some good content, some jewels up in there. I definitely appreciate the conversation because it gave me the avenue to really speak my mind on certain things and certain topics as well. So big ups to them. Hope to see more collabs. Show those guys some love. Corey at the 5150 show and at MTR mediocre tutorials and reviews on their channels. Make sure y'all go subscribe and view their content, check them out. I appreciate y'all, Snap Squad. You know what I'm saying? Y'all rocking with me on this one. Hopefully y'all come back for the next one. Looking forward to rocking out with y'all, getting these numbers up again. And thank y'all to those who've been sharing and viewing the content thus far. You know, no view, no share, no comment, no like, you know, goes unappreciated. So I'm grateful for all of y'all so far. We just starting, you know what I'm saying, and I think we doing good so far. So it's all love to you all. Make sure y'all keep it up. We're gonna be coming back pretty soon with another drop, with another video. Not 100% sure what it's gonna be yet. You definitely gonna get the notification. If you hit that notification bell, it'll alert you to when we drop a new video. Okay,
that's a wrap. Everybody out. You ain't gotta go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.